well. Well, the NFL, as they do every single year around this time, they release their top 100 players as voted on by the rest of the NFL players. So it's within that fraternity of people who are not necessarily media, who are not necessarily fans. It's not really a popularity vote, even though it is, but it's also people who are actually there with players every single day or on the field against them every Sunday, or they've seen them in the past at least. So, the top 10 order of the players that were actually released by the NFL, number 10 was Chris Jones. Then we had Micah Parsons at 9, Josh Allen at 8, Tyreek Hill at 7, Joe Burrow at 6, Travis Kelce at 5, Nick Bosa came in at number 4, and then the final 3 players, Jalen Hurts was number 3, Justin Jefferson Jettas was number 2, and then, without further ado, I mean, this was not a surprise, Patrick Mahomes, number 1. I love that list. To be honest, there was not much that I personally thought was flawed about this list. I will shake up things a little bit. So, from On the Block Sports, we will go ahead and actually tell you what I believe the top 10 players should have came in and the specific order that I would place them in as well. And I do want to go ahead and say that there were some snubs, but I don't want to get into other players who are outside of the top 10 because then you're talking about offensive linemen, D linemen, and other positions that really, as a fan, you can't really quantify. So here is going to be what I think the top 10 players in the NFL should be listed as. Number 1, I'm going to stick the same and say Patrick Mahomes. He is still, I think, 27 years old, 2 Super Bowls, 3 appearances, 2 MVPs. He just came off of an MVP year where he's setting more records, and it's just without a doubt at this point, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. We have Tom Brady. He's retired. We all knew that he was going to be up there whenever he was actually playing, but let's not talk about that anymore because who's going to debate that? Number 2, Justin Jefferson. That is who the NFL players voted, and I'm going to stick with that because he's a nothing but ball out. He is every single thing you'd want as a wide receiver, and his stats just keep getting better. And he's good at route running. He's good at high pointing the ball. He can get into the end zone. He's elusive. He gets yak. Everything you can want in a wide receiver, Justin Jefferson has. Number 3, this is where I differ a little bit here. Tyreek Hill, I'm going to put him at the number 3 best player in the NFL largely because I think a lot of the same things except for being the big target that Justin Jefferson is, Tyreek Hill is just as good or even better. His stats prove it. He can play with quarterbacks who are not as good as Kirk Cousins, although he did play with Patrick Mahomes. He went down to Miami, had Tua, who was pretty good, but at the same time he had concussion issues, and yet Tyreek Hill had over 1,700 yards. He was the dude who could not be stopped, and he just made plays. It doesn't matter how the defense is set up. He changes the game every single week. So Tyreek Hill is the most dangerous playmaker in the league. I got him at number 3. Number 4. Oh, Tyreek Hill, by the way, that's up 4 spots. The NFL had him at number 7. But at my 4th best player, Nick Bosa, I'm going to stay right there where the league has it. The NFL top 100 players. Nick Bosa came in at number 4, and he's proven to be that dude. He's an edge rusher who's not just a rusher. He stops other teams who run the ball. They can't run in his direction whatsoever. He dictates what the other offense does. He makes the solid plays. He makes the splash plays. He's good at getting to the quarterback, so he does everything. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, who I have the exact same at number 4. So number 5, I'm going to move Joe Burrow up here 1 spot. He's number 5 for me personally, and I know that may differ between who you ask, but as somebody who's watched Joe Burrow, he is somebody who It doesn't matter if you hit him 1,000 times, he gets up and still makes plays. He's accurate. He can move a little bit better, especially within the pocket. And the only question for him is injuries. He gets his team to the playoffs every year. He gets postseason wins also. So he's a threat to make it deep in the playoffs. And I think that is something, as a quarterback in the top 10 players, you need to be someone who helps your team win. And that's what Joe Burrow has done. Number 6, Chris Jones. So came in at number 10, but I'm going to move him up to number 6, which is up 4 spots, because in my opinion, outside of Nick Bosa, he's probably the best defensive lineman in the NFL. As a defensive tackle, you get 15.5 sacks. Your best sack didn't even count. So he had more than 15.5 because the league and the NFL kind of screwed him a little bit. But the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowls if it's not for Chris Jones and his playmaking on the defensive side of the ball. You can double team him. It doesn't matter. He just bullies grown men, which is crazy. He can shove them aside. He moves around to the edge at sometimes as well. So Chris Jones, just his dominance from the defensive tackle position, he's going to be number 6 for me. Number 7. So the NFL players have this guy at number 3. Jalen Hurts, I put at number 7, which is down 4 spots. And the reason is that he really dominated only one season. With my personal opinion, whenever you're within the top 10 players in the NFL, you need to be somebody who can prove it more than just 1 year. And I have no doubt that Jalen Hurts will continue his balling against the NFL, but we just haven't seen it yet. So that is the only knock I have on Jalen Hurts at this point. Number 8, Travis Kelce, who came in at number 5 amongst the players. But just to me, I'm a Chiefs fan, but I have to be objective here. He's a tight end. Tight ends, would he be doing the same thing if he was not playing under an Andy Reid system? Would he be doing the same thing if he were not the recipient of Patrick Mahomes' passes? So I think he would still be really good no matter what. But Travis Kelce, his dominance, you don't know just how well a tight end affects winning. And in my opinion, as I said before, with the quarterbacks, I just think that heavily weighs into how high you are on this top 100 list. Travis Kelce, I love you. He's the best tight end ever in my opinion, but he's still a tight end. So with that being said, Travis Kelce's number 8, down 3 spots from what the NFL had. But my number 9, I'm moving this player down 1 spot also. Josh Allen. And this is somebody who has all the physical talents in the world. He's gifted. He can run. He can pass. He's a beast. He has the attitude, but he does throw turnovers and fumbles the ball a little bit. That is something that whenever you put the ball in harm's way, you kind of get a little bit nitpicky in these lists here. You're still talking about the best of the best. So, in my opinion, he's going to be the 4th best quarterback in the NFL, which puts him at number 9 on this list here. And I don't know if his Super Bowl window has closed, but without a doubt, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, their Super Bowl windows are a little bit brighter than Josh Allen's is. And that leads me to number 10. So who I'm going to put at number 10 in the NFL as far as the players go, and honestly, I would probably rank him lower, but as I said before, I'm going to use the same top 10 players. Micah Parsons. In my opinion, he is a Dallas Cowboy, the America's team, if you want to say. And I don't know how, because the Patriots have been a dynasty since the Cowboys were good. The Chiefs have been dynastic since the Cowboys have been good. But I'm still going to put him at number 10 just because he is that dude. I honestly am not that mad about it. He, in my opinion, you have other edge rushers who are better than him. And that's why I would put him below number 10 if I were actually creating the list. Michael Parsons is still an elite player. He has the elite athleticism, and his potential is crazy. He's also produced, but he kind of goes missing at times. Uh, there's other players like TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett. So there's other edge rushers who I think are on the same level, and if not better, they've produced more in their own rights. However, that is going to be my top 10. If On the Block Sports is saying it, we have Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Nick Bosa, Joe Burrow, Chris Jones, Jalen Hurts. We got Travis Kelce at 8, Josh Allen at 9, Micah Parsons at 10.